Hey, it's another episode. It's episode 139 of a crazy little thing called Lovdev. Today's episode is World's Friendliest Burglar.
It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev. It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev. He's got the punchlines and he's got the groove. It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev.
Hello and welcome to another podcast episode. I just pressed the jingle again like an idiot. I've got my coffee. I'm ready to go. The week has just flown by. I can't believe I'm already recording another episode. Absolutely unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Oh, da 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 da. There we have it. There's a tune for all of you to wake you up on a Monday. If you're listening on a Monday, you could be listening on another day. Whatever the day it is, it doesn't matter. You're listening to this podcast. Yay. I've had such a busy week. Recorded a podcast episode with a good friend of mine, Ricky Balshaw. I met Ricky a couple of years ago. I've mentioned him a few times on my podcast. He's got a podcast called Unstable. Ricky Balshaw, Unstable. The episode of me will be out soon, and when it is out, I will let you guys know so you can listen to it. If not, check his podcast out anyway. It's great. So I did a little episode recording with me old pal, Ricky Balshaw. We did a Patreon episode as well. So if you want to get on his Patreon, it's only £1. I should get on the Patreon. But why? Why should I bother? Nobody listens to this apart from me and 10 other people. I can't believe there's only 10 people listening to this podcast. I say that, I get different downloads every day. I think people are going way back into my archives to see what I talk about. They're going to be like, this guy keeps changing his intro music. By the time they get to like 130 odd episode, they'll be like, this guy's mental. Why does he keep changing his podcast episode? Well, that's me. That's what I do. Apart from that, I supported Joe Enright. I mentioned it last week I mentioned that, didn't I? So I did support her. It was all right. I'll be honest, they're not my type of audience. Because she's totally different to me. But they were quite reserved at the gig I did the other night. Normally, I'll get a laugh straight away. But now, when I listen back to it, there were people laughing. They just weren't laughing loud enough. That's Sod's Law, that is. Sod's Law. Done a bit of, not DIY, I was going to say I done a bit of, I did do a little bit of DIY. Basically, I just put up a canvas. That's the most I can do. Had to get rid of some furniture, right? Remember my mate, the Hungarian bloke? So I had a table set for him, right? I messaged him. He said he's still in Hungary. So I said, all right, mate, just make sure you get a full belly, and when you get back, you can set this table. Well, my missus got annoyed, and she said, no, I want you to give it away. Give it away to anybody. I stuck it on Facebook Marketplace for free, and it went instantly. People don't want to pay for stuff. I don't blame them, to be honest. I had a nice couple of dining chairs that I had to get rid of, right? And they're really nice, they're really strong dining chairs. They're lovely dining chairs. They're a bit worn out, a bit scratched up because of the cat. So I thought, I don't really want to throw them down the tip, down the garbage for the rest of you American folks and wherever you're listening from. I thought I don't want to take it down the dump, you know what I mean? But I had to, so I just done that now. And because the one I go and use, right, you have to book it now. In Birmingham, you got to book to use the skip. I know. You go to Wolverhampton, where I work a lot. They don't even have to do that. They can just drive up and throw away whatever they want. I said to the guy, I said, can I come back? I got 2 more chairs to drop. He said, you're going to have to book it in. I thought, why do I have to book it in, man? Do you know who I am, sir? Anyway, let's crack on with the podcast. Yes, sir. So I went to Costco the other day. I say yesterday. I went there. Had to do a bit of shopping. I love Costco. You guys know I'm a big, massive Costco fan. So I went there and I thought, right, I'm going to do a bit of shopping, yeah, get some food and that. Rang the missus up. Do you want a pizza? No, we had it yesterday. I don't want a pizza. I said, all right, then I got these chicken wings, yeah. They come in a tray. They're already cooked. The peri flavour or peri. Or peri, I don't know, what do you call them? Peri in it. I said, do you want these peri ones? And she said, go on then. She said, bring 2 trays. I said, do you know how big these are? They're absolutely massive. I said, 1 is enough. No, bring 2 just in case. Brought it, right? Just about finished one of the trays. I mean, there was a couple of chicken pieces left. And now I've just had that for breakfast. Who has peri chicken wings for breakfast? Nobody. I mean, I'll be honest, it's not even breakfast because I ate at lunchtime. I don't have breakfast. I'm doing that. I'm still trying to do that. What you might call it? The fasting diet. I'm still trying to do that. So yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I want to do a segment anyway. Let's do a segment, shall we? Because I've got nothing to say. Let's see what today's first segment is of the show. It's unpopular opinion. Let's see what today's unpopular opinion is. This one has been posted by Eric Zandros. Eric Zandros on the Reddit forum of unpopular opinion. I've chosen this because I think it's a good point and it's a bad point. Let's see what it's all about. So his unpopular opinion, Mr. Eric Zandros, is people who are good at their jobs should not be promoted. So if you're good at your job, you shouldn't get a pay rise or you shouldn't progress in the company. I don't know what he means by that, but if you're good at something and you can get better at something else, then I don't see why you shouldn't be promoted, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Unless you can't do it. Unless there's someone you know and you think, oh, they only got that job because they're a bit of a teacher's pet with the manager. Or they just blagged their way in. It could be somebody. A lot of companies have this. Families in a business. I work in the National Health Service. And in that, we still have people, we have families in there, you know. Honestly, the NHS is just one massive family. And I've seen people work there. Right? There was a woman, I don't want to say too much, but she worked in the canteen. She got her husband a job. And I heard he was absolutely useless. And he had a good job as well. So I think if you've worked hard, you should be entitled to a promotion. I think you should be. I think you got to learn the skill before you get the promotion, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. He has actually got more to this. He hasn't just put that. He's got more. He says they should instead just be paid more to continue doing the job they're doing. And maybe give them more assistance and tools to increase their productivity. Can't even say the word, man. Too often you see people who are really good at their jobs get promoted to management only for them to fail as managers because they no longer get to do the work they used to do and end up micromanaging their inferior subordinates who will never live up to their own high standards. This is a loose situation for everyone. The problem is that only path forward for any careers is management. For example, he's got an example, guys. The best teachers end up becoming principals because being a principal pays more, but it doesn't have to be that way. I would say if you got good people skills, right, and you're good with the kids, then you can become a principal. It's like favoritism, in a way. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm telling you the right thing. Eric says as well, In the tech industry, there are senior positions for individual contributors, such as distinguished engineer, who get paid like managers but don't have to manage anyone. They can focus on doing a job at their work. This should be the case for all industries like education, where the potential impact of a great teacher can be vast. True. Especially if given the right tools to teach more children. Basically, he's saying, stick to your job and just pay them more for the job that they're doing. I agree. The job I do, not many people would do what I do. Looking after people with mental health, learning disabilities, doing stand-up comedy, which is a totally different thing. But you know what I mean? The actual job that I do, the day job I do, the 9 to 5, working 9 to 5. My 9 to 5 job, you've got to have a certain skill to do my job. Not anyone could do my job. I said this to my missus. I said, I'll tell you what, you think your job's hard, come and try and do my job. I said, you wouldn't even last 10 minutes, which is true, innit? My missus would not last 10 minutes in my job. She'd walk out. She'd give it a go. Oh, yeah, she would give it a go, but I can't see her doing my job. No one can do my job. Who wants to get beaten up? Who wants to get spat at? Who wants to get called the C word and the F word and all the other words that you're not allowed to say? No one. That's what I'm saying. No one. So I think if you're good at your job, you should get more money for the job that you do. Promotion-wise, I think should be given fairly for the person that has got the right skills to do the job. That's it. End of story. End of story. Unpopular opinion. I think that is it's a good point that he's put across, Eddie Kaz. I mean, an unpopular opinion to me is someone who gets a job who just gets it because they know so and so. Oh, so and so got me that job. It's kind of like that in the comedy industry, I think. Certain people you get on with and like, oh, he's always booking there more. Do you know what I mean? I think it happens all the time. So it doesn't matter what industry it is, it happens everywhere. Alrighty then. As I'm recording this podcast, I had to pause halfway and I remembered my carpet machine is playing up. Right, remember I told you? Anyway, they said they're going to send me a prepaid, what do you call it? A prepaid postage label. That's it. Nearly lost my marbles, mate. So they said they're going to send me that. They told me that more than a week ago. It's been more than a week. They haven't sent it. I think they're trying to get out of this, you know. I'm on the customer service. Now explain this to me. How can I be number 9 in the queue? I'm number 9, yeah? I looked at it. I said, all right, there's 8 people in front of me. I went back on it. I'm now number 10. How does that even work? How does somebody jump the queue in front of you online? I don't understand that. Vax, if you're listening, sort it out. Because you're absolutely got me vaxxed bedridden. I'm vexed and vaxxed up right now. And I'm looking at it as I'm talking to you guys. I'm now number 8. I hope by the time I do the next segment of the podcast, I'm number 1, obviously. But you know what I mean? I'm number 1. I can talk to them and say, what you guys doing, man? What you playing at? Send my parcel. Why can't you email it? That's what I don't get, right? These companies. I've never had this before. But Vax, why do you have to send me a prepaid label via post? I don't understand that. When you buy clothes and certain stuff of other companies, right? And you want to return it, they say, okay, don't worry. Here's a label. Just print it off and stick it on your parcel. Fair enough. Thank you very much. Easy job done. Why do I have to wait for them to send me it? It just sounds way dodgy to me. Just sounds way dodgy. I'm now number 7. Lucky number 7. We'll keep an eye on it as I go along. I'm multitasking. I just had a friend of mine who messaged me. I forgot to tell you this. I went to the gym, right? in Telford. There's a little town in the UK called Telford. I had a gig there the other night, and it was fantastic. What a great gig. Run by a friend of mine called Roger Swift, who's an absolute legend on the comedy circuit. And he runs a comedy night called Technicolor Spoof. And I was closing it. And I haven't been there since 2018, apparently. That's what John, who owns the pub, he's a character as well. John owns the pub. He's the one who told me. He said the last time you was here was 2018. I said I knew it. I said, Roger, what you playing at? You need to get me more spots, man. I closed it. It was great fun. So before I went to do the gig, I went to the gym there. And I was quite impressed with the gym there. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it was all right. Do you know what I mean? It was clean. People put their weights away. You didn't have groups of people hovering around one machine. It was fantastic. I've got a friend of mine is there right now. He said, this gym is weird. I said, what do you mean? He said, there's a guy. He's just sitting on the bench watching a film. He hasn't even done a set. I said, that's hilarious. And then he said, there's another guy and he's drinking tea out of a flask. That's absolutely funny. Oh, God. Let's see what else is funny in today's
Ask the UK.
Yes, it's Ask the UK. I haven't done one in ages. I'm number 5 in the queue. I haven't done Ask the UK in a while. Have I? I don't know. It just feels like it's been ages. This one, I don't know if it's real, but like I read a little bit. I said, is this guy? He's put no joke. Is someone say this is no joke? It's been put up by Bickering Full. He says, no joke, yeah. In brackets, I'm applying for a mid-level marketing role for a software intelligence CEO in the UK. One of the first questions in the online app process is, have I got a joke I want to share? If that really is on your questionnaire for the job, maybe the guy who owns the company loves comedy. Could be. You never know, innit? I don't know whether this is real or not. I bet it is. I bet he's not even joking. Bickering Full. He's not even joking about this. I bet he's telling the truth. Have you got a joke you want to share, mate? Before you apply for this job. He says, my only jokes that come to mind would get me fired. What is it, like a Bernard Manning type of joke? There was this Asian guy and this black guy. Right, that's it. You can't have the job, mate. Leave him there. He says his job will get him fired. He said, let alone hired. Any suitable jokes come to mind. If I select one from here, we'll let you guys know. Please be flexible modes. I think he's asking for an opinion on a joke that he will do. And I'm just looking. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at me queue. I'm still number 5. Bloody Vax. I might have to call him. So yeah, the joke is. He wants to know what kind of jokes can people put down. Somebody, before I read what he's put down, someone's put down, just type knock knock and they'll have to come back to you. For the rest of the joke. That's funny, man. He says, okay, we have a winner. So he's had a winner. He's put this up a couple of hours ago. It's the knock knock, it is. Oh, he's actually gone for the knock knock. Knock knock. That is hilarious. He's put down, thank you to Viridian, who's put that comment down. If they come back with who's there, I might have to post for an update. This post could go on forever. He says, I'm sure I won't have to, as well as all know, talent teams never reply to applications. That is hilarious. I mean, that's all he's put down. That he's applied for a company and they've asked him if he knows any jokes. What kind of company is? I mean, it's a software company, isn't it? Why would they want you to? They just want to know what your sense of humor's like. Probably. If I went for a job interview and it said, "Tell us a joke," I'd have to use one of my own one-liner jokes, I think. But I'd make sure it's borderline. Do you know what I mean? Not too offensive, but it is on the edge. That's what I would have to do. That is amazing. There's not more to say in that. That's the UK. That's what the UK is like. If you want to come to the United Kingdom, come down, man. Come and live here. We've got a good sense of humour. That's one thing us Brits have, is a good sense of humour. But there's people out there now. I've seen videos, right, old videos of TV shows, and people are going, "Oh, I can't believe they did that. They would never get away with this if they did it in this generation." Yeah, because our generation, we had a sense of humour. All right, it wasn't race. It was facing racism. That's what it was. It was calling out the stereotypes, and people. I think the younger lot, because they don't understand now that that's what our sense of humour's like in Britain. If you can't take a joke, leave the country, mate. Do you know what? I wasn't going to do this, right? Not that. Play the music again. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to do...
Truth, am I the a-hole? Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole?
Tell me the truth, am I the a-hole? I was going to do am I the a-hole, but I'm going to do I'm the a-hole. This one has been posted by Ruby Radagon. Her question is, am I the a-hole? My father recently passed away, and my co-worker, this all seems to be work-related this episode, took it upon herself to tell people instead of letting me speak to who I wanted to. You are not the a-hole, first of all. I mean, I don't even need to read your question. Your friend should have just stepped back. If you couldn't be able to and you asked her to do it for you, then that's a different thing. But your friend obviously just probably felt like they needed to tell someone. This person sounds like somebody who would like to gossip. I might be wrong, but if I told a mate of mine, look, I've lost a member of my family, and then they went around and told everyone, whether they done it, I don't think they've done it spitefully. They probably thought they're going to let people know, which is why you're not your usual self, but telling the whole workplace and all your other friends is not a good idea. Ugh. Anyway, I want to know what Ruby's saying. My father passed away suddenly. Very sorry to hear that. He was 67. He had a heart failure. I was back at my workplace. It's just been a couple of days, and grief is still quite fresh. Obviously, it would be. I told one of my colleagues, and she has proceeded to tell other colleagues of mine without my knowledge, so some of them have come in and talked to me without me being able to approach each situation. I'm upset and I'm very irritated with my colleague for talking about my loss with people. I feel like it was up to me to speak to people when I'm ready. Of course! That's your right. It's your family. You've lost someone. When you feel like the time is right, then you can tell them in your own terms. Your friend, however, shouldn't have done it. So she says Ruby lost her temper and she's guilted me that she did it so I didn't have to have the awkward conversation about a loss of a loved one with them. That she did it for my well-being and such, and me being angry with her isn't fair. That's a very hard one. Am I the a-hole or overreacting, or is she out of line? I've already told you, she's out of line. You haven't overreacted. It's your family member. It's your father who's passed away. You have the right to tell who you want to. Your friend shouldn't have got involved. Maybe they're trying to be friendly, but they just did not think about the situation. People like that need to put themselves in their in your shoes, don't they? That's basically what they need to do. Very sorry to hear that. I hope you've patched things up with your friend. It's a tricky one. Yeah, I do feel for you. And I hope you sort it. Next time, hopefully your friend won't go around telling other people about your business. All right, let's do a weird news story time. It's a weird news. I think it's from the UK. I'm going to have to double check on that one, but here it is, folks. Today's weird news story. A burglar hung out washing and cooked a meal for a victim. And my cat had to meow as soon as I said that. Yes, a burglar. A very nice burglar by the sounds of it. Hung out somebody's washing and cooked them a meal. There's not many burglars out there that would do that. Here is today's weird news. A woman discovered her house had been broken into by a burglar who hung out her washing, put her shopping away, and cooked a meal on her stove. Damien Wojnilowski. Shout out to Damien Wojnilowski, the friendly burglar. He's 36-year-old. Happy birthday. He was jailed for 22 months at Cardiff Crown Court. So this is local. Cardiff, Wales, next door to England. On Thursday for carrying out the unusual burglary in Monmouthshire in July. The woman said she was left too scared to stay in her own home after returning from work to find items had been moved into a garden and her recycling bin had been emptied. This guy literally cooked, cleaned, put everything away, put the recycle stuff out. He's a legend. This guy's a legend. He's like Robin Hood. The burglar left a note saying, "Don't worry, be happy. Eat up and scratch." Don't know what the scratch bit means, but yeah. The court also heard the bird feeders had been refilled and plant pots had been moved. Inside the house, a pair of shoes had been removed from packaging, which was placed in the recycling bin. The prosecutor, Alice Sky, said a meal had been cooked using the items from the woman's cupboard. I wonder what he made, man. Shopping had been taken from a bag and placed in the fridge, which had been rearranged. This guy's got mental health issues, ain't it? Kitchen utensils had been placed in the bin, and new ones from the shopping bag had been laid out. Toothbrush heads had been replaced on toothbrushes, and empty bottles of wine had been placed in a rack, having been drunk, and the floor had been cleaned with a mop and a bucket. Is this even a burglary? I mean, he's literally just helped this victim out. The victim also saw a bottle of red wine had been left out next to a glass, and the bottle opener, there was a bowl of sweets on the living room table. He literally put out a bowl of sweets for her. She spoke to a neighbour who described seeing someone hanging out washing. In a victim personal statement, the female victim said, 2 weeks after the crime, until he was caught, I was living in a state of heightened anxiety I had never experienced before. I wondered if it was somebody who knew me, if it was going to turn into a stalking incident, if he knew I lived alone, and if I had been targeted. I was too scared to stay in my own home, so she stayed with a friend. There was a second burglary which took place at another house when the male homeowner received a CCTV alert on his phone which showed this Wojnilowski walking on his driveway the defendant went on to use the shower in a summer house to wash and clean his clothes. Food and drink had also been consumed, and the hot tub had also been left dirty. Not as nice as the other house. The victim asked his son-in-law to attend the property, and the defendant appeared to be drunk and was holding a glass. He was asked to leave and did so, but the burglar was later arrested. His DNA was found on fingerprints from the first property he burgled. The homeowner said he felt sick, horrified, and useless when he became aware of the burglary. The homeowner said he felt sick, horrified, and useless when he became aware of the burglary. Tabitha Walker, shout out to Tabitha Walker. She was defending Wojciechowski. She said her client was homeless at the time, I thought so, of the offences and was undergoing a number of difficulties. She said he was apologetic to the victims and for the harm he caused. Sentencing recorder Christian said this was a significant intrusion in their homes. Wojciechowski, of no fixed abode, pleaded guilty to 2 counts of burglary. But did he actually burgle anything? Is cooking food for someone and drinking their wine classed as burglary? I mean, you're invading their space, but did he actually take anything? That's what they haven't said. He actually took something. The court heard he had 4 previous convictions for offences, including common assault, public order, and offences for failing to surrender. There you go. That is today's weird news story. As a burglar who literally comes and cleans your house up. He's kind of like a maid, ain't it? That's what he is. And it was great. I have some more news to end on this. I just found out a colleague of mine, I say colleague, he's a comedian, also a colleague, I suppose, has won the Birmingham Breaking Talent Award. Last night, it was the award. It's basically where newer acts enter a competition and they get judged by an audience and judges, and they pick one winner. It was a very strong lineup. I thought it was very, very strong. I didn't know who was going to win it, but they were all great. But congratulations to Tom Towling. Fantastic. Great news. He's got a great review as well. So that was it. That is today's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. See you guys soon, hopefully. Bye.
It's a crazy little thing, this thing called Lovdev.